Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us read 49th verse. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruhaha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sannyasenadhigacchati siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapnoti nibodhame samasenaiva kaunteya Nishtha jnanasya ya para. How a seeker who has purified himself and he has now become qualified to inquire into the truth by the karmaja siddhi, how he will practice. So the principle is given. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruha sannyasena paramam naishkarmya siddhim adhigacchati. Such a seeker who is asakta buddhi, unattached, jitatma sayamit, the mind is fully under control, vigata spruha, no three eshanas, desires, and sannyasena, the ultimate is now to be sought, therefore sannyasa. Such a person attains naishkarmya siddhi. How he attains, that I shall tell you in short. This is what Bhagavan told. Then the question came, Kidrushi yadrusham atma jnanam, how is that jnanasya nishtha para samapti? How that jnana nishtha is? So, as is the Atma, so is the Jnana Nishtha. And Atma is without any form. So, how can there be? No, who told you? Atma doesn't have name and form. Aditya Varnam Tamasap Parastat, etc. No, that is said only for denying the attributes in the self. Therefore, to say that Atma Nishtha will be like the Atma, this is not acceptable. Then the question is, Katham tarri atmano jnanam? Then how the Atma jnana will take place? Sarvam hi yad vishayakaram jnanam tat tadakaram bhavati. All the objects which are known through the knowledge, through the vritti, through the thought, is of the shape of that particular object. Nirakaraja Atma. And Atma is without any form. Iti uktam. So, jnanatmanoho cha ubhayoho nirakarattve. And the jnana also is without any form. Atma is also without any form. Therefore, tad bhavana nishtha katham. How there is a possibility? Therefore, now, atyanta nirmalatva, swachhatva, sukshmatva, upapattehe, atmanoho, atmanaha, buddhehecha. There is a clear possibility that the Atma and the Buddhi can be extremely nirmala, immaculate, pure, extremely subtle, and therefore it is possible that Atma sama nirmalyat upapattehe. So when the purity is exactly of the same quality, Atma Chaitanyakara bhasita, Atma Chaitanyakara bhasatva upapattihi. And therefore, this Buddhi and the Chaitanya can be of the same type, it can be known. How it is known now? Now from here, the topic is developed. Buddhya bhasam manaha tada abhasani indriyani indriya bhasaha cha dehaha ato laukikaihi deha matre eva atma drushti kriyate. So, the Chaitanya bhasa is buddhi. Buddhi is illumined by the consciousness. Now this buddhi is illuminating the mind. The mind is blessing the sense organs. Sense organs are illuminating the body. And therefore, laukikaihi, by the ignorant people, deha matre eva atma drishti kriyate. Therefore, they keep on hanging on to this notion that the body alone is the Atma. So, deha chaitanyavadinaha cha lokayatikaha chaitanya vishishtakayaha purushaha iti ahuhu tatha अन्ये indriya chaitanyavadinaha अन्ये manas chaitanyavadinaha अन्ये buddhi chaitanyavadinaha. Because of this, wherever there is a reflection of the consciousness in one way or the other. What is the reflection of the consciousness? Enlivening. So, Deha Chaitanya Vadinaha, the body oriented people, when the body is reflecting consciousness, a living body, they say the body is Atma. Then second is Kaya iti Purushahu, tatha Anye Indriya Chaitanya Vadinaha. When they say that the senses are functioning, then they say Indriya is the Atma. Then the third one, they say the mind is the Atma, the fourth the Buddhi. In this manner, tataha api antaram avyaktam avyakrutakyam. Even the cause or nearer to the self is the avyakruta, the prakriti. So avidyavastham atmatvena pratipannaha kechit. And therefore, some people imagine that the consciousness which is reflected in the prakriti, in the avidya, called as the chidabhasa, that chidabhasa is the Atma. This is how some people think. And sarvatra hi dehadi buddhyadi dehante atma chaitanya bhasata atma bhranti karanam iti. And therefore, starting from the body up to the buddhi, the reflection of the consciousness creates an illusion that Atma is one of them or each one of them. Ataha Atma Vishayam Jnanam na vidhatavyam. Therefore, there is nothing to be known about the Atma. Kim tarhi? About Atma, nobody is doubtful. And whosoever has whatever knowledge about Atma, they are very clear. Those who are Dehatmavadi, they have no doubt Atma is not there. You may be eyeing mind. Mind is the body. So they have no problem. Therefore, Atma Vishayam Jnanam na vidhatavyam. There is no need to talk about Atma. Then, Kintarri Nama Rupadi Anatma Adhyaropana Nivrittihi Eva. All what is required to be done is the wrong notion associated with the superimposed names and forms such as the body, prana, etc. So, that nivritti eva karya, na atma chaitanya vijnanam. Atma chaitanya vijnanam is not required. Avidya aropita sarva padarthakaraihi eva vishishtataya grihyamanatvat. Because this Atma Chaitanya is recognized by different people with reference to the different conditioning. So as regards the Atma Chaitanya is concerned, there is no doubt. The doubt is the Atma Chaitanya getting reflected through the different conditioning. They start imagining that those things are the real Atma. That has to be corrected. And therefore, अतएव ही विज्ञानवादिना बौद्धा विज्ञान व्यतिरेकेण वस्तु एव न अस्ति इति प्रतिपन्नाः. That is why the Vijnanavadi Bauddhas, they say that the consciousness reflected in the buddhi is responsible and able to conduct the whole business of life. Therefore, there is no need of any consciousness or any Ishvara or any Brahman. For them, that Vijnana is more than enough. Iti pratipannaha pramanantara nirapekshatam cha. And therefore they say we don't require any other authority of knowledge. Because swa samvedi tattva abhyupagamena. Because they say we are clear about it, we have no doubt that Vijnana alone is the Atma. Tasmat, and therefore, where it is said in this 50th verse, Samaseneva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya yapara So the supreme jnana nishtha I shall tell you. Now therefore, tasmad avidya adhyaropana nirakarana matram brahmani kartavyam natu brahma jnane yatnaha atyanta prasiddhatvat. Therefore all the spiritual practice is only removal of the superimposition on this absolute reality. This is all the spiritual practice. Natu brahma jnane yatnaha kartavyaha. There is no need for anything to be done for brahma jnana. Why atyanta prasiddhatvat? About the consciousness, about Paramatma, about Brahman, everybody knows. So, avidya kalpita nama rupa vishesha akara apahruta buddhitvat atyanta prasiddham suvidneyam asannataram atmabhutam api aprasiddham durvidneyam atiduram anyat iva pratibhati avivekinam. And for the ignorant people, although this Paramatma Tattva is extremely nearer than the nearest, asannataram, suvidneyam, very clearly known to everybody, atyanta prasiddham, it is very, very much popular, and yet avidya kalpita nama rupa vishesha akara apahruta buddhitvat. But because of the superimposition of the names and the forms, etc., the wrong notion, buddhi is as if covered, and wrong notions are developed. And therefore, this Atma Bhutam Api, although it is being one's own essential nature, yet aprasiddham is thought of to be not known, difficult to know, and atiduram, far away, anyat iva, other than I. In this manner, avivekinam pratibhati. For the ignorant people, the Atma seems to be far away, extremely difficult. Therefore, Bhashya akara nivritta buddhinam, so those who have given up the objectivity from their mind, Bhashya akara nivritta buddhinam, labdha guru atma prasadanam, and those who have the grace of the Guru and their own grace, Guru Krupa and Atma Krupa. As regards Guru Krupa is concerned, there is no dearth. All the problem is Atma Krupa. Our own mind goes on playing tricks with us, and we are unable to understand. Therefore, labdha guru atma prasadanam na ataha param sukham suprasiddham suvidneyam swasannam asti tatha chauktam pratyakshavagamam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. Therefore, those who have taken the shelter of the guidance from the Guru, those who are able to surrender totally, the highest Atma Krupa is total surrender. For them alone, this Paramatma Tattva is Suvidneyam and Pratyaksha Avagamam. It is extremely simple. Swasannam. Swasannam is nearer than the nearest to the self. Swasannam, very close to oneself. Now, kechittu panditam manya panditam manya निराकारात्वात् आत्मवस्तु न उपैति बुद्धि अतः दुसाध्या सम्यक ज्ञान निष्ठा इति आहु. But there are some people who think themselves to be wise. The word is panditam manya, those who think themselves to be wise. So for them nirakarattvat atmavastu, the atma tattva, the reality, the absolute being without any form, etc., buddhi na upayati. Buddhi cannot comprehend that. Ataha dusadhya samyak jnana nishtha. Therefore, there cannot be firm abidance in this absolute self. Yes, you are right. Satyam evam. This is true. Guru sampradaya rahitanam ashruta vedantanam atyantar bahir vishaya sakta buddhinam samyak pramaneshu akruta shramanam tad viparitanam tu laukika grahya grahaka dvaita vastuni sadbuddhi nitaram dusampadya atma chaitanya vitarekena vastvantarasya anupalabdhehe. So, those who are Guru sampradaya rahita, those who have never gone and studied the scriptures in a proper disciplined manner, ashruta vedantanam, those who have never heard Vedanta Shastra, atyantar bahir vishayasakta buddhinam, those who are extremely extrovert, samyak pramaneshu akruta sharmanam, and for the study of the scriptures, etc., you require a lot of sincerity and efforts. This doesn't happen just like that. And for them it is extremely dussadhya jnana nishtha, agreed. But tad viparitanam, but those who have studied the scripture with a proper discipline, those who have heard the Vedanta Shastra, those who are no more extrovert, those who have full faith in the scriptural authority, those who are putting sincere effort for the study and practice, for such people, laukika grahya grahaka dvaita vastuni sadbuddhi dussampadya, for them it is difficult to accept the duality as real. Dussampadya, because Atma Chaitanya Vatirekena Vastvantarasya Anupalabdehe, because they know without the support and the substratum of this Atma Tattva, nothing is ever available. Therefore, Atma Chaitanya Vatirekena Vastvantarasya Anupalabdehe, Laukika Grahya Grahaka Dvaita Vastuni Sadbuddhi Nitaram Dum Sampadya. For such people, duality is not accepted as real, because they are now rooted in this conscious reality. Yathacha etadevam eva na anyatha iti avochama. Therefore, whatever we are told, that alone is the truth, nothing else. Uktam cha bhagavata. Bhagavan also has said, yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. Therefore, the duality which is considered as real by the ignorant is rejected as illusion by the wise. And the Advaita Tattva, which is recognized by the wise people as the real, is considered as imagination by the otherwise. This is how Bhagavan also said. Tasmad, therefore, Bhahyakara Bheda Buddhi Nivrittihi eva Atma Swarupa Alambane Karanam. Therefore, Bhaya Akara Bheda Buddhi Nivritti. Do you remember once, long time back, I must have told you, I was having my talk somewhere, and there was one Jain person who used to come for the lecture, Gita. Probably I was talking on 6th chapter. So, Atma Samstam Manakrutva, focus your attention on the Atma and do Atma Chintan. So, afterwards he said, Swamiji, Atma Chintan should be practiced. You also told, our Muni also tell. But what exactly meaning of the Atma Tattva? What should be done? So that time I told you, Anatma Vastu Abhavaha Atma Chintanam. Now see the same thought. Bhaya Akara Bheda Buddhi Nivrittihi eva Atma Sarupa Alambane Karanam. When the extrovertedness of the mind is totally negated, erased, naturally the buddhi goes back to the Atma Tattva. Therefore, nahi Atma nama kasyachit kadachit aprasiddho prapyo heya upadeyo va. Atma is never unknown, aprapya and upadeya, to be gained by anybody. Because the Atma Tattva is known to everyone. So, nahi Atma nama kasyachit kadachit aprasiddha. Everybody knows the self. How beautiful it is, see? Can anybody say that I have doubt about my own existence? No. Because it is suprasiddha. And it is already prapta. There is nothing to be gained about this Atma Tattva. And na heyaha upadeyova. Neither you can reject the Atma nor you can gain it. Because that is you. Therefore, aprasiddhehi tasmin atmani asvartha sarva pravruttaya prasajjeran. Therefore, aprasiddhehi tasmin atmani. When we say, no, the Atma is not known, Then asvartha sarva pravruttaya prasajjeran. Then we will have to say all the undertakings, everything is done not for the self. It is not possible because everything is done for the self. Nacha dehadi acetanartham shakyam kalpaitum. Do you think that the nice bed to go to sleep is for the body? No, it is for the self. Therefore, atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. So, nacha sukhartham sukham dukkhartham va dukkham. The happiness is not for the sake of the happiness. The misery is not for the sake of the misery. Then, atma avagati avasanarthatvacha sarvavivaharasya. Therefore, all the experiences, good or bad, they are meant for the self. Now, to understand it, take the simple example. Now, when we see the colors and the forms are not meant for themselves, nor they are meant for the eyes. They are meant for someone who is behind the eyes. Similarly, it is not my lips are talking, it's not that your drums are hearing. These are only the means. But there is someone behind the lips, and there is someone behind probably the ears who is listening. Therefore, tasmad yatha swadehasya parichedaya na pramanantarapeksha tataha api atmanaha antaratamatvat tad avagatim pradim na pramanantarapeksha iti atmajnana nishtha vivekinam suprasiddha iti siddham. So when you say how Atmanishta is not possible, he says, Yatha swadehasya parichedaya na pramanantara peksha. We don't expect any authority to determine our body. See, the other day I was playing fool with two girls. Elder one is about 7 years, younger one is about 4 years or 5 years. And the elder one's name is Sumiran, and the younger one's name is, what is her name? Malavika. Very different name, not usual names. So, I started calling the elder one by the name of the younger one. I said, hey Malavika, come. Swamiji, I am Malavika, she is Sumiran. I said, okay Sumiran, I understood. No, again you are making mistake. I am Malavika, she is Sumiran. I said, okay, Malavika, come here. They got so disgusted. Why can't you remember this thing? I said, you are going wrong, I am all right. Now tell me what is the proof that you are a Malavika and she is Sumiran? You have forgotten. Actually, this is Sumiran and this is Malavika. Then they got confused. Okay, we'll ask mummy. See, there can be doubt about anything. There cannot be doubt about one's own being. So, pramana antara apeksha na. Swadehasya parichedaya, for knowing the body. Now, atmanaha antara tamatvat. Now, atma is even nearer than the body. So, tad avagatim prati na pramanantara apeksha. And therefore, to know the self, no other authority is required. You are the authority. Nobody can teach you. Therefore, atmajnana nishtha vivekinam suprasiddha iti siddham. Therefore, atmajnana nishtha, only recognition is the only thing, that's it. And what is to be done? Only denial of these panchakoshas and the whole gamut of superimposition. Now, yesham api nirakaram jnanam aprathyaksham tesham api jnanavasha eva jneyava gati iti jnanam atyantam prasiddham sukhadivat evam iti abhyupagantavyam. Now, those who think that the knowledge is without any particular form, for them also this knowledge, the consciousness, the Atma is jnanam aprathyaksham tesham api eva jnanavasha. So they also will know this Atma only through this knowledge only. Iti jnanam atyantam prasiddham. Therefore, this knowledge, the Chaitanya, is clearly known to everyone, just like Sukhadivat. Now nobody is to be taught, hey, this is called as happiness, okay? Nobody is to be taught what is called as happiness. Everybody knows. So, as a result of this, now the one more thing. Jidnyasa anupapatte hecha. What is the meaning? Aprasiddham ched jnanam jneyavat jidnyaset. Here jnanam is atma. If the something is sought, something is required to be known, then it is not known. Now jnanam cannot be said it is unknown, and therefore there cannot be jidnyasa. So tatha deyam ghatadi lakshanam jnanena jnata vyaptum ichchati tatha jnanam api jnanantarena jnata vyaptum icchet. Just like the pot which is unknown is known by the knower of the pot by throwing his jnanam mind. In the same manner, this Atma Tattva, which is of the nature of pure knowledge, cannot become the object of knowledge for the mind. And therefore, there is no desire to know the self. Means what? When the desire disappears, the self is there. That is why there cannot be any desire. This is the meaning, Tyaktaishana, the one who has given all the desires. Because when all the desires are given up, the desireless existence is the reality. And therefore there cannot be desire in the self. So, nacha etadasti ataha atyatta prasiddham jnanam jnata api ata eva prasiddha iti tasma jnane yatno na kartavyaha. Therefore don't struggle for the Atma Jnana. Then kintu anatma buddhi nivruttau eva. So all the spiritual practice is denial of the anatma buddhi. We consider ourselves to be mamata and ahanta, and with the ahanta also the body, prana, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. That is to be nivruttau eva kartavyaha tasmad jnana nishtha susampadya. Therefore jnana nishtha is possible. Don't say it is not possible. Now, sa iyam jnanasya paranistha uchyate katham karya. Now, how one can have the firm abidance in the jnana nishtha. Therefore, what is the meaning of jnana nishtha now? Jnana nishtha means firm abidance in the recognition of the self. How it has to be attained? This is now said in the 51st verse. Buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha dhrutyatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayan tyaktva ragadveshau vyudasya cha. Now this thought will continue. Buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha, buddhya adhyavasayatmika, vishuddhaya maya rahitaya yuktaha sampannaha. The one who is associated with the intellect of commitment and purity, dhrutya, with all perseverance, atmanam, karyakarana sanghatam, our body, senses, etc., niyamya, having fully controlled, niyamanam vashikritva, shabdadi shamte shabdadayatan vishayan tyaktva. So, the one who is associated with the commitment, then who has the pure heart, who is having perseverance, who has controlled his senses, the mind, etc., and thereafter shabdadin vishayan tyaktva, giving up the longing for the worldly pursuit, samarthyat sharira sthiti matran kevalan muktva tataha adhikan sukharthan tyaktva ityartaha. And by this what is meant samarthyat, what is meant is sharira sthiti matran kevalan muktva tataha adhikan sukharthan tyaktva. Therefore, other than the bare necessity for the maintenance of the life in the body, all other things are rejected. So, sharira sthityarthatvena prapeshu cha ragadvesho vidasya cha parityajya. And whatever is gained or received only for the maintenance of the body, even for that also the likes and dislikes are rejected. And thereafter, tataha vivikta sevi laghvashi yatavakaya manasaha dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritaha. Now these things what we heard in the 51st verse, these are the instructions which I had given you in your meditation. If you remember, I will tell you what are what instructions. First, buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha. So, the first instruction I told you, you are Mr. Nobody. All the ashuddhi in the buddhi is the personality. Buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha. Then dhrutyatmanam niyamya cha. So atmanam niyamya. You have no sankalpa what you will do after the meditation. Automatically mind will keep quiet. Dhrutya, have patience. 3. Then shabdadin vishayas tyaktva. They do not get involved in any of these worldly things. After having said this, such a person, vivikta sevi, now he is sitting in a secluded place. Now Bhagwan Shankara has to write, so he will not say what I am telling you. Vivikta sevi, aranya, nadi, pulina, giri, guhadin, viviktan deshan, sevitum, shilam asya iti, vivikta sevi. He who is living in the forest, on the banks of the river, or a lake, or the mountain, caves, such vivikta deshan sevitum shiramasya. The one who is habitual of staying in such solitary places, he is a vivikta sevi. What we have to understand, we don't have to go to forest. This much, vivikta sevi. There is only one place where nobody will disturb you, and that is your own self. See, I was telling one of my friend, he was very keen to take VRS. Almost decided. Then he normally doesn't do anything without asking me. He asked me, Swamiji, I have decided. I said, if you have decided, why you have come to me? He said, no, I have to give my final word on such and such date. I said, if you are not given, don't give. You continue your job. He says, Swamiji, I said, don't, there is nothing to discuss. I told you my decision, you do it, don't do it, suffer. He said, no, I will not do it. When he said, no, I will not do it, but tell me why. I said, what is your problem? Your problem is not the office. Your problem is not the problem outside. Your problem is your mind. You are unable to keep quiet. You have so much of unrest inside you that wherever you will go, you will be a problem to yourself. No, this is a government thing, let the government suffer. At least you don't suffer in your life. Because vivikta deshi, when such people who are not able to practice this, they become extremely a source of disturbance to themselves and others. Therefore, another spiritual practice, expose yourself to silence. And how we start exposing ourselves to silence? Don't get involved in anything around. There is one Vipassana somewhere in Igatpuri. I have never gone, people tell. When we go there for 10 days, you are not supposed to talk to anybody. So in that 10 days, it becomes so suffocating. Those who are in the poultry farm, for them it is terrible torture. What is the reason? Reason is the habit. Getting involved in everything in this world. Vivikta sevi. Then second is laghvashi. Laghva, laghu ashanashilaha. Ashanashilaha, the habit of eating. Laghu, little. Laghvashi, he who has the habit of eating little, not eating like a glutton. The other day, where I was in USA, and we are having a dinner somewhere. So they normally give me in a plate and put 2-3 katoris, and from that I take with a spoon whatever I like. And there was another elderly man, about 80 plus. And he took his plate and went on filling so much that it was overflowing, as if he has never seen food in his life. The whole thing he went. So after that was over, I was washing my hand. One girl came. Swamiji, did you see that uncle? How much he has taken? It was more in weight than his body. Why this happens? Just a habit, nothing else. Therefore, laghvashi, that doesn't mean we should torture ourselves. That doesn't mean you undereat and then suffer, become cranky, become weak. No. If you practice yoga abhyas, if you practice silence, automatically your requirements go down. Laghvashi. Now, what is the reason of these two important things? Vivikta seva laghvashana yoho nidradi dosha nivartakatvena chitta prasada hetutvat grahanam. Because if you are in all by yourself, nobody around you, very good. And you have eaten up to the nose, very good. What will you do? Meditation. Go to sleep. There is nobody to check, isn't it? Now every day in the morning when you get up and come here before the 6 o'clock class, and also say, I think I wish sorry, but you get up. There is no choice. Given a choice, then we keep on hanging on the bed. Therefore, here vivikta seva laghvashanayoho, by these two practices, staying solitary and eating minimum, nidradi dosha nivartakatvena, excessive sleep etc. is removed, and chitta prasada hetutvat, and the mind remains always cheerful and happy. So there is no load of the body and the mind. This particular thing about the food thing has become so clear to me since I left that Chawlaji. Because of this rice, I used to get so much of problems. 101. Every kind of things done, but nobody could suspect that this is the cause. The moment that is dropped, everything is corrected. Immediately the heaviness, the drowsiness, the excessive, everything disappears. Then yata vak kaya manaso, vak cha kaya cha manasancha yatani sayyatani yasya jnana nishtasya sad jnana nishto yati yata vak kaya manasaha syat evam uparata sarva karanaha san. So that jnana nishta sannyasi who has complete control, withdrawal of his speech, body and the mind. Sayyatani cha etani jnana nishto yati evam uparata sarva karanaha, and thus all his means of involvement in the life are completely absorbed, withdrawn naturally. Remember in the 3rd chapter, kurmongani va sarvashaha yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyaha tasya pradnya pradishtita. He who has withdrawn all his mana, vak and the kaya, the body, mind and the speech completely. Okay, does it mean go to sleep? Because in the sleep also we follow the same thing. No. Dhyana yoga paro dhyanam atmaswarupa chintanam yoga atma vishaye eva ekagrikaranam. So tau dhyana yogo paratvena kartavyo yasya sa dhyana yogo paraha. For him this dhyana yoga paratvena kartavyo means what? This is the top priority. So for this seeker, now there are only two things. Atma Vishaye eva ekagri karanam. Now we don't want anything in this world except Paramatma. And thereafter, Atma Swarupa Chintanam, Dhyanam. Here, see, Dhyanam is not that Chitta Vritti Nirodha, no. So, Atma Swarupa Chintanam. So, Paratvena Kartavyo Yasya Sa Dhyana Yoga Paraha. And Nityam, Nitya Grahanam, Mantra Japa Adi Anya Kartavya Abhava Pradarshanartham. See, Maharaj. Nityam Dhyana Yoga. Nityam Dhyana Yoga is possible when your mind is not born or your mind doesn't run here and there. Yesterday when I told one of the students, when she phoned, what are you doing in Japan? I said, you drop that Japan. Don't do that anymore. Enough of it. Swamiji, I was given the Guru Mantra. Then I said, why are you asking me? Go to your Guru. Very difficult. Yes, Spashta Bhagavan clearly writes, Mantra, Japa, Adi, Anya, Kartavya, Abhava, Pradarchanartham, Nityam. Therefore, don't have that wrong notion. Spiritual practice means all the external paraphernalia. No. We are fully and totally involved in this conscious awareness about our being. Even if you practice this for 10 minutes, it is more than practicing japa for 10 hours. See? Therefore, dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupasritaha, and vairagyam viraga bhavo drishta drishteshu vishayeshu vaitrishnam. Therefore, para and the apara vairagya both. So, viraga bhavaha, complete dispassion for all the known and unknown. Samupasritaha, samyak upasritaha, nityam eva ityartaha. And thus, ever steadfast in the dispassion, fully involved in the contemplation of the self, and that is the only top priority for in his life, keeping the body, speech and mind under its perfect control, and exposing himself to the silent, solitary place, as well as eating the minimum things. Meaning, we don't eat only with the mouth, we also eat through all the faculties. So, not indulgent with reference to any object, any sense organ. After having done this, now the next one. Ahankaram balam darpam Kamam krodham parigraham Vimuccha nirmama shanto Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Ahankaram, ahankaranam, ahankaro dehendriyeshu, dehendriyadishu, tam balam samarthyam. So ahankara means the identification with the body, senses, etc. This is already vimuccha. The vimuccha is the verb. Having given up identification with the body, senses, etc. Balam. Balam vimuccha. Balam means what? Samarthyam. Kama ragadi yuktam na itarat. Shariradi samarthyam swabhavikatveena tyagasya ashakyatvad. So here balam means what? Not the natural strength of the body, which cannot be given up. Then the natural strength which is supported by, modified by the desire, etc., that is to be given up. So here the bala samarthya kama ragadi yuktam tyaktva, having given up. Then darpo nama harshantara bhavi dharmatikrama hetu. Darpaha means when we are losing our balance because of the excessive happiness, then we transcend the limitations of our own discipline. Therefore, rushto drupyati drupto dharma atikramati iti smaranat. Therefore, our happiness, etc., should be always a balanced one. Then kamam, ichham, krodham, dvesham, parigraham, indriya, manogata, dosha, parityage, अपि इन शरीर धारण प्रसंगेन धर्म अनुष्ठान निमित्तेन वा बाह्य परिग्रह प्राप्तः तम च विमुच्य परित्यज्य. How beautiful Bhagavan writes, giving up the desire, anger, hatred and parigraham means what? Indriya manogata dosha parityage. What is the dosha in the senses and the mind, etc.? Although we may do this, what is that? We have given up the desire, everything, we have done that. Yet, sharira dharana prasangena, only for the maintenance of the life in the body, or a dharma anusthana nimittena, when we are doing our puja, pothi, yajna karma, bahya parigraha praptaha, we keep on accumulating the things. No, this is required for that. You must have seen, these people who are the worshippers of the gods. I remember, it was such a terrible thing. That is why, I never used to do puja, etc. when I was in the ashram. Here you are only 4 of you. When there are 60 students, and when they see that the teacher is every morning getting up and doing the puja, Vishnu Sahasranam, this and that thing, then everybody wants to do. And all the flowers in the garden are completely destroyed. See? How much you tell, don't do that. No. And again, and then there is the competition. So the whole attention is focused only on this, plucking the flowers. For that they will get up early in the morning, 2:30, 3 o'clock, and Hare Ram. What for you have come here? This is here. Bhagavad is very clear. Dharma anusthana nimittena va bahya parigraha prapta tam cha vimuccha parityajya. Meaning what? Paramahamsa parivrajako bhutva. Now don't depend on anything external outside. All the sadhana is going on within. That is what Bhagavan says, yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittam. That is what is ultimate. So paramahamsa parivrajako bhutva deha jivana matre api nirgata mama bhavaha. See? Even there is no longing for living long, or there is no urgency to die. See? And therefore mama nirmamaha and ataeva shanta uparataha. And therefore he is extremely peaceful within. Yaha samhrutayaso yati jnananishto brahma bhuyaya brahma bhavanaya kalpate samartho bhavati. In this manner, see the word samhrita ayasaha yati. He in whose life there are no efforts, there is no struggle. Spiritual life is not a struggleful existence, So yaha samhrutaya sahayati jnananishtaha. He alone is now firmly abiding in this knowledge. So brahma bhuyaya brahma bhavanaya kalpate samartho bhavati. He alone can recognize what was told to us in the Vaitathya Prakaran, what was told to us in the Mandukya Upanishad. How that one absolute reality is superimposed with all the Karya Karana Bheda, the cause and effect, the Jiva Bhava, everything becomes clear. Now, Anena Kramena Brahma Bhutaha. Now, by this systematic approach, he who has thus attained oneness with the Parabrahma Paramatma, now he is glorified. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Shochati Na Kankshati Samas Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim labhate param. Brahma bhuto Brahma praptaha. Thus now this seeker has merged himself in the Parabrahma Paramatma. Now through him it is not the ego that is expressing. See? Like when a student goes to the medical college, he goes as a useless fellow. Then he comes out as a doctor. And when he comes out as a doctor from the medical college, now he is looking by the same pair of eyes. Earlier he was looking at the people. Now he is looking at the patients. So that change in the vision, in the same manner, when I start living as a body, as an individual, my vision will be different. See? This I told you in the 6th chapter. When I give undue importance to the wealth, either riches or the poverty, I look at this world into the third world and the first world. See? Because money is important. When I give importance to the body, then I divide the world into healthy and unhealthy, or man and woman, or young and old. These are all the body-oriented thoughts. When I consider myself to be the pranamaya kosh, then the whole world is divided into two, overfed and underfed. Nothing else. Then when I consider myself to be the mind, then the whole world is emotional commotion. If intellect I am, then the world is divided into dumbs and intelligent like me. And if I recognize myself to be Brahma Bhutaha, therefore Atmaupamena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati Arjuna Sukham Vayadi Va Dukkham Sa Yogi Paramo Mata. He is that Brahma Bhuta Yogi. Brahma Bhutaha. Then Prasannatma, the first sign of a Brahmajnani. Labdha and Labdha Adhyatma Prasadaha. Now he has attained fulfillment in his life. There is nothing to be achieved, nothing to be protected, nothing to be lost. Labdha Atma Prasadaha. And therefore, na shochati. Therefore he doesn't grieve, regrets and regrets. What is that? Kinchit artha vaikalyam. Because he doesn't have something, he doesn't feel bad about it. Or atmanaha vaigunyam cha uddishya na shochati. Many times, we have many shortcomings. Everyone has. Either at the body level or the speech level or somewhere or the other. Because he has got some shortcoming, he does not feel regrets about it. I wish I had that. No. This is all the vikrutis in the prakriti. See how important it is. Then only na shochati. Then na santapyate na kangshati. So he doesn't regret, doesn't suffer because of lacking something, and therefore he doesn't expect, desire, I wish this was like that. No. In other words, we can see Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. He who is extremely cheerful and happy is always in the present. Therefore, no shochati, past he doesn't bring. No kangshati, future he doesn't go. So all our life is lived in the absolute present, and that is what is called as Brahma Bhutaha. Therefore, what is self-realization? Self-realization is only this. Remain in the absolute present. And Brahma Bhutasya ayam subhavaha anudyate na shochati na kangshati. So, this is not that he has to practice this swabhava. He is naturally in the present. Nahi aprapta vishaya kanksha brahma vidaha upapadyate na hrushati va iti padaha. So, aprapta vishaya kanksha brahma vidaha na vidyate na upapadyate. The one who has the infinite bliss, how can he ever desire about the useless things of this world? Na rushyati also is one of the other part, other reading. That he is neither na shochati, neither miserable nor happy, like that. Now, samaha sarveshu bhuteshu, atmopammena sarveshu bhuteshu sukham va dukham va samam eva pashyati ityartaha. So he is able to see the same way toward the whole world as he sees towards himself. How we see towards ourselves? If I am happy, I want people to be happy because of my happiness. So what I do? When I want to get married, I will call the million people. Why? I am happy. This is the only time in marriage when the man is happy. So let me celebrate my happy moment of my life with the whole world. Therefore, sarveshu bhuteshu atmopammena. And when I am miserable, I am unhappy, what do I want? I want a word of sympathy. I want somebody to come and help me. In the same manner, this Brahma Bhuta, he is able to identify with the totality and celebrate the happiness of others and extends a hand of help wherever it is required. And this is called as tasya vakshamanatvan bhaktya mam abhijanati. And this is what is called as the pure love. That will be said in the next verse. Evam bhuto jnananishto mad bhakti mayi parmeshware bhaktim bhajanam paramam uttamam jnanalakshanam chaturthim labhate chaturvidha bhajante mam iti uktam. In the 7th chapter, Bhagavan told, chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sakrutin arjuna arto jijnasur arthadi jnani cha vartarshava. So this is the jnana nishtha yukta bhakti. This is the para bhakti. And in this bhakti, in this devotion, there is no separateness. As the Lord loves His creation naturally, so also the natural love for this jnana nishtha purusha, for the whole creation, is his swabhava. And therefore, for the wise man, there is never a struggle. His life is not a burden of exertion and efforts, but his life is of effortless flow. Ajyadharaya srotasa samam. Effortless, unbroken peace that passes through. Now, tato jnana lakshanaya. Now, by this jnana lakshana, the jnana nishtha, then what happened? Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Yavan yaschasmi tatvataha. Tato mam tatvato jnatva. Vishate tadanantaram. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Now by this devotion to me, now what is, see, the knowledge has suddenly become devotion. See? Up to the jnana nishtha, I shall tell you, see what Bhagavan started. He said, Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapnoti nimodame samasene kaunteya nishtha jnanasya para. He started with the topic of knowledge, and where he ended, in the devotion, in the love. That knowledge which doesn't culminate in love is only the knowledge at the level of the erudition and scholarship. That knowledge which has become the experience. And what is the experience of the knowledge? Atma upammena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna. When we have digested the knowledge. Digested knowledge is called as devotion. Like, when you read the menu and when you eat the food, what is the difference? This is the difference. And therefore, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na Shochitina Kankshati, then Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu. Why he is one with everybody? Because now he has no doubt that Atma Tattva, which is supporting the plurality, that is the real one, that is my essential nature, and the plurality is merely a superimposition. And in this manner, for him to love the total creation is no more an effort. And through this love, then again see the beauty. Bhaktya mam abhijanati, again knowledge. See? From the knowledge, he has entered the kingdom of devotion. From the devotion, again he knows. Therefore, this knowledge and devotion, they are not two when they are mature. But when the devotion is also not mature, knowledge is also not mature, then the noise and the utpata is considered as devotion, and erudition and logic and scholarship is considered as knowledge. And ubhautau na vijanita, both of them have gone the wrong way. Therefore, bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan aham. So by this devotion, he comes to know me. What he knows me? Yavan aham ubadhikruta vistara bhedo. My total expanse is recognized by him. Upadhikruta. Through all the conditioning that I express, all that he is able to recognize me. Means what? He is able to discover the divine presence in and through everything and being. And therefore he loves. See? Yavan. In the 10th chapter, Bhagavan told what he said. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo veti tatvataha. So here the vibhutim. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan vibhuti mam abhijanati. Aham upadhikruta vistara bhedo yaha. Cha aham vidhvasta sarva upadi bheda uttama purushaha akashakalpaha tam mam advaitam chaitanya matraikarasam ajam ajaram amaram abhayam anidhanam tatvataha abhijanati. See? Vibhutim yogam cha. Such a devotee knows me in my manifest as well as unmanifest way. So Yavan is the manifest reality. In and through the total multiplicity, there is nothing but one absolute truth that is pulsating. And therefore, everything in this world deserves to be loved. Not deserves to be discarded because it is illusion. No. If you take this world as an illusion, you will never be able to love. Then what is this world? The appearance of the manyness is an illusion, but whatever is appearing, if you are touching the substratum, then everything is Paramatma. See? The names and the forms which create differences, they are illusion. But to whom the names and forms are given? To that one substratum. Parabrahma, that is the reality. And his understanding is about that. And therefore, he is able to recognize my presence in the total manifest world. And also, aham vidhvasta sarva upadhi bhedaha uttama purushaha. And also discarding all the conditionings as uttama purushaha, as one's own self. Aham is Uttama Purusha. We know in our Sanskrit Vyakaran, Uttama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha, Pratham Purusha. So his now total understanding will be what? The Pratham Purusha and the Uttama Purusha is but one Purusha. Dvau imo Purusho loke, Ksharascha, Kshara evacha. That is his understanding. So there is no difference between the Uttama Purusha and the Prathama Purusha. The whole world, objective world, is nothing but Paramatma. And the subject is also none other than the Lord. That is me. In this manner, Uttama Purusha Akashakalpaha, like the space tam mam advaitam. And therefore, what is this reality? Advaitam, non-dual, chaitanya matra ekarasam, pure consciousness. There is no duality of prakriti. Ajam, ajaram, amaram, abhayam, anidhanam. See how beautiful. Unborn, never becoming old, never dying, free from fear and without any limitation. Tatvataha mam abhijanati. In this manner, tato mam evam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram mam eva. And thus having known me, mam tatvataha jnatva, having thus known me, vishate tadanantaram mam eva, he becomes one with me. Now here, one again, the language problem is discussed. What is that? Na atra jnanantara pravesha kriye bhinne vivikshite. He should not say that after the light is switched on, then the darkness has gone. So these are not two things. One and the same thing. In the same manner, atra jnanantara pravesha kriye bhinne vivikshite na. This is not meant here that after the knowledge has taken place and then he comes, achama aage. It is not like that. Kim tari, then kim tari, phalantara bhava, phalantara abhava jnana matram eva. Because in case of the Atma Dhyana, Brahma Dhyana, we know there is no phala vyapti. There is only vritti vyapti. And therefore, it is not that after knowing the truth, the knower of the truth remains apart from the truth. This is the basic difference. In the Atma Dhyana, knowing is being and being is knowing. But in the knowledge falling in the purview of the mind or the relativity, the knowing and being are separate from each other. And therefore, phalantara abhava jnana matram eva kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi iti uktatvad. This was already told in the 13th chapter, 2nd verse. That there is but one reality in and through the total creation. Now here it is raise some questions. Nanu viruddham idam uktam jnanasya paranistha taya mam abhijanati iti. I think it is something is wrong somewhere. It is wrongly said that jnanasya paranistha, what is the ultimate in the knowledge, taya mam abhijanati, by that he knows me. Katham viruddham iti chet uchyate. Yada eva yasmin vishaye jnanam upapadyate jnatuhu tada eva tam vishayam abhijanati jnata. Suppose it is said, after having known the mobile phone, then he knew the glass of water. How you say? Tatvataha jnatva mam abhijanati. He should know the tattva. How come he knows you? This is the doubt. Because katham viruddham iti chet, I will explain you how it is wrong. Yada eva yasmin vishaye jnanam utpadyate. Whenever we have knowledge about something, jnatuhu, for the knower, tada eva tam vishayam abhijanati jnata. Then the knower knows only that object. Iti. Na jnana nistham jnana avrutti lakshanam apekshate iti. And once the knowledge is known, there is no repetition. It's the same thing. Tataha cha jnanena na abhijanati jnana vrittya tu jnana nishtaya abhijanati iti. And therefore, he knows that through the thought, knowledge thought, jnana vrittya abhijanati, and not by the jnana nishtaya. This is what is the doubt. Now the teacher says, na esha dosho jnanasya swa atmotpatti paripaka hetu yuktasya pratipaksha vihinasya yad atmanubhava nishchaya avasanatvam tad nishta shabda abhilapad. What is meant here is when the knowledge becomes undeniable. Like, the vritti jnanam. Something I know, I may forget, I may get lost. But as regards the knowledge of one's own being is concerned, it cannot be lost. And therefore, it is Atma Anubhava Nishchaya Avasanatvam. That is what we told you earlier also. In case of karma, in case of yoga, in case of bhakti, you have to repeat. Isn't it? Abhyasat. Then the Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gurijate. Abhyasa, what is that? Vairagyabhyam tan nirodha. So in the field of Prakriti, you require Abhyas. But once you have the Jnana Nishtha, there is no repetition possible. Therefore, here, Atma Anubhava Nishchaya Avasanatva Tasya Nishtha Shabda Abhilapat. This is what is meant by the word Nishtha Jnanasya Yapara. Now, Shastra Acharya Upadeshena Jnanotpatti Paripaka Hetum Sahakari Karanam Buddhi Vishuddhyadi Amanitwadi Cha Apeksha Janitasya Kshetrajna Parama Atma Ekatva Jnanasya Kartradi Karaka Bheda Buddhi Nibandhana Sarva Karma Sanyas Sahitasya Swatma Anubhava Nishchay Rupena Yad Avasthanam Sa Para Jnana Nishtha Iti Uchyate. Now here Bhagavan has defined what is Jnana Nishtha. It is not only the erudition and scholarship we are talking about. Then what is? Now see, Shastra Acharya Upadeshena, by the instruction received from the Acharya according to the scriptural authority. Thereafter, Jnanotpatti Paripaka Hetu Sahakarinam Buddhi Vishuddhyadi Amanitwadi Cha Apeksha. And thereafter he has done all the sadhana which was said in the earlier verses, Buddhya Vishuddhaya Yuktaha, etc. And in the 13th chapter we have seen Amanitvam, Adhammitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantirarjavam. Keeping that in view, and because of this Janitasya, Kshetrajna, Paramatma, Ekatva Jnanasya. And then he has now fully come to realize that there is but one Kshetrajna, there is no one Jiva per body. And therefore, Kartradi Karaka Bheda Buddhi Nibandhana Sarva Karma Sanyasa Sahitasya. And therefore, there is no division of doer, done or doing, etc. And as a result, all the karma is given up. And because of this, Swatma Anubhava Nishchaya Rupena, and thus abiding in the correct understanding of one's own being, yet avasthanam, this correct abidance in the self is called as the Jnana Nishtha iti uchyate. This is called as the Jnana Nishtha and nothing else. So, Sayam Jnana Nishtha Artradi Bhakti Trayapekshaya Para Chaturthi iti ukta. So, this Jnana Nishtha is called as the fourth one in comparison to the earlier three, what was said in the 7th chapter, that Artho Jidnyasura Artharthi Jnani Cha Bhartarshabha. In reference to that, this is called as fourth. Now, Taya Paraya Bhaktya Bhagwantam Tatvataha Abhijanati. Now, by this Nishtha, by this Jnana Nishtha, he recognizes Paramatma as his own self. Yad Anantaram Eva Ishvara Kshetrajna Bheda Buddhi Asheshataha Nivartate. And thereafter, Kshetrajna and Ishvara Bheda Buddhi, the separate duality between the Prajna and the Ishvara is once for all gone. And therefore, Yato Jnana Nishtha Lakshanaya Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Iti Vachanam Na Viruddhyate. And therefore, there is no contradiction when the teacher says, having got established in this Jnana Nishtha, then he knows me. So this is rightly said, there is nothing wrong. Atra cha sarvam Nivrutti Vidhai Shastra Vedanta Ityasa Purana Smriti Lakshanam Arthavat Bhavati. And in this alone, what we have just now concluded, in this alone, all the scriptures find their meaning. Nowhere else. Which are the scripture? Vedanta Ityasa Purana Smriti Lakshanam. Vedanta Shastra Ityas, Mahabharata, etc., Purana, the Ashtadasha Puranani, Smriti, Ashtadasha Smriteha, etc. Therefore, Viditva Vitthaya Brahmacharyam Charanti Tasmanya Samesham tapasam atiriktamaho nyasa eva iti acharayed iti sannyasah karmana nyaso, and Vedan imam cha lokam imam parityajya sarva dharman parityajya iti ihacha darshita vyakyani. Therefore, this is what is ultimately said, that after having given everything, then he becomes one with the Lord, and this is meant for the sannyasi. Nacha tesham vakyanam anarthakyam yuktam cha na arthavadatvam prakarana sthatvad. Therefore, this statement is not a what you call arthavad, only for the praise, but it is meaningful in this. And therefore, pratyekatma vikriya swarupa nishthatvat cha mokshasya. And the meaning of the moksha, liberation, is only this, recognition of one's own essential nature. And therefore, nahi purva samudram jigimashoho prati lommena pratyak samudram jigimishuna samana margatum sambhavati. Those who are going to walk to the east and west, they cannot have the same path in the same manner. Those who are wanting to walk the realization and karma, it cannot be the same path, it is opposite. So karmana sa bhavitvena viruddhyate. So parvata sarshapayoho iva antaravan virodaha pramana vidam nishchitaha. Therefore, this karma and the jnana, they are exactly opposite, like a small seed and the whole mountain. Tasmad sarva karma sannyasena eva jnananishta karya iti siddham. Therefore, jnananishta can be attained only by sarva karma sannyas, and there is no other way. After this topic, we will take in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.